Sure you do. You don't know what's being broadcasted when you have them off. We're tuned out. We do that with God, too. Did you ever try and watch the Channel 4 news on Channel 2? Doesn't work, does it? Got to turn it on Channel 2. If you want to watch Channel 2, 4, if you want to watch Channel 4. We do that with God. Sometimes we turn off the receiver. Sometimes we're on the wrong channel. Job 33:14 says, God does speak, sometimes one way and sometimes another, even though people may not understand it. We're not going to understand it if we're not tuned in. So here's another question I thought you might be thinking right now. What channel is God on? What kind of receiver do I need? And all of you either have one or have one available, and here's number one right here. You take your Bible and you read it, and God will speak. Now, I'm not talking about this. Let's see, I got to leave here in 2 minutes. Lord, my shepherd, I shall not want, make lie down, green pasture, lead me beside the water. God? Okay, nothing here. You're willing to give a half hour of your life to listen to watch something on the TV. Sometimes an hour, sometimes a couple hours. Why do we short out God by expecting Him to come through in a couple of minutes? It takes time. You've got to tune in. The Bible's the best way. That's the primary way. He also speaks through preachers, teachers, circumstances, pain, and of course, that still small voice that He promised. I am convinced of this. It is impossible to read the Bible and give it the time necessary. To take a few minutes, read it, and listen. Read it slowly and understand. I'll try and see how much you can get done. It is impossible to read it and give it its proper attention and not hear from God. He will speak. Obviously, I think He speaks through preachers and teachers. You ever come to church and hear a sermon and just kind of go, he's talking to me? I think that little girl's related to me. He's talking to me. How did he know that I was going through this? I find it interesting. Sometimes I'll do a sermon and somebody will be on the way out and say, thanks, Pastor, for that sermon on whatever. And I'll think, that's not what I preached about. Somebody else, thanks for the sermon. I didn't preach about that either. God takes preachers, teachers, takes what we say under His inspiration, and through the Holy Spirit applies to anybody who's tuned in and willing to listen just what you need. That's why I think it's important that people come. What if God had something for you on any given Sunday and you didn't bother to come? You didn't tune in. You had it shut off. He also speaks through impressions, inspirations, and hunches. There are two extremes for this. The rationalist says God never does it. The mystic says everything comes from God. I'm going to tell you, that feeling you're getting just might be a bad burrito. He speaks through circumstances. Pain, He shouts His message. Through pleasure, He whispers. God really gets our attention when we're in pain. Proverbs 20:30 says sometimes it takes a painful situation to make us change our ways. God is speaking all the time. Are you listening? When I used to, when I was younger and remember the CD craze? Everybody had a CD in their car. I had one in my car driving around and then get on here and say, have you got your ears on? In other words, are you at your CD radio? You have it turned on? Can you hear me? I think God asks of us sometimes. Have you got your ears on? Are you listening? Are you on the right channel? Are you tuning in every day? You know, if you tune out for a day or two or three, you could really get off course. Did you know the space shuttle, when it goes off, it makes many course corrections every second, constantly correcting its course. Imagine if just for a few seconds it was off, ultimately how far they could miss the target and end up out in space somewhere. If we tune out, if we don't make the course course correction on a regular basis, we can get far away from God's will. That's where we end up with broken dreams and hearts and lives and homes. And there's another point in the sermon where I talk to myself, what might you be thinking? And you might be thinking, I'm really way off track. I haven't tuned in for a long time. And if you are way off track, I have good news. The way back is pretty easy. He'll get you back on track really quick. The path he leads you on might not make any sense, and that's when we need to trust God when we don't understand. Remember the story of the Israelites being set free from Egypt after 400 years as slaves? Moses kept going to Pharaoh, let my people go. They went through the plagues. Finally, Pharaoh had enough. He said, get out. They started on their way. He changed his mind. They were following God. God led them to the Red Sea and mountains on both sides, and Pharaoh's army coming this way, and of course found themselves saying what? God, what did you do? They complained to Moses, you let us here, we're going to die. We're either going to drown in the sea or we're going to be killed by Pharaoh's army. We'd have been better off if we'd have stayed slaves in Egypt. And then God showed them and showed us for time immemorial for everybody to know that he never makes mistakes. Ever. He had a miracle ready they didn't know about. He opened up the Red Sea. The wind blew all night long. They walked through on dry ground. They got to the other side. The pillar of fire that had been holding back Pharaoh's army, God snuffed it out, and they came after him. And God let go the Red Sea and drowned them all. He had a miracle ready that no one knew was there. Psalm 77, your road led by a pathway through the sea, a pathway no one knew was there. He could see what they couldn't see. Are you at a dead end? You got mountains on one side, mountains on the other side, an ocean in front of you, and somebody coming at you from behind. You can't see a way out. You're at an emotional dead end, or financial, or relational. Listen, let God speak through the preacher today. God has a way out for you that you can't see. He's got a miracle ready for you that you don't know about. He's not going to abandon you. He's going to open the door. Proverbs 3 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Lean not unto your own understanding. Stop trying to figure it all out yourself. It might not make sense. But if we follow God, we get the ultimate reward. Proverbs 12:28, in the way of righteousness there is life. Along that path is immortality. God is simply saying, if you follow me, you will have a good life here, and then you will have a better life in heaven. Could you say, are you willing to say today, where he leads me, I will follow, regardless of what that means, and even when it doesn't make sense? Let's pray. Lord, I know a little bit about following you when it doesn't make sense. I know a lot about you coming through when it seemed like all was lost. Help us to tune in through your word, through preachers and teachers, to be tuned into the still small voice, to recognize when certain circumstances happen, that for the Christian, they're not just by chance. We aren't victims of circumstance. We belong to you. And you have a plan for all.